Hey everybody, this is Auntie, and we're going to be talking about this epic confrontation between Darcy and Stacy versus Georgie. He finally clapped back on their tails, and I must say, I'm quite proud of him. Let's get into it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, and my new sister nephews, and all of y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie's advice. Sweet old. It's time for Auntie's advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for Auntie's advice.
Y'all know the reason why I do these videos back to back is so that we can keep spending time together. Hi, everybody. This is Auntie, and I am here with my review of Darcy and Georgie and the clap back heard around the world. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for hitting that subscribe button and joining this family. And to all of my nieces, nephews, and my members who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. Y'all know I'm supposed to be in the bed, right? But anyway, let's go ahead on and make it do what it do. Shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. So look. Hi, Sid, I'm so excited. Hey, Auntie. Hey, Sid. Hi, Isel. Let me speak. Hello there, Tanya. Tanya said, first one here and the first life. Thank you, boo. Ray Della would be proud of you. Hello there, Elizabeth. Hey, D. McFarlane. Hey, Deirdre. Hey there, Cynthia. Hey, Veronica. She says, yay, I'm catching alive. Hey, Sugar 48. Hey there, Tanya. That broke Darcy and Stacy, and the truth hurt, didn't it? Didn't it, Tanya? Let's get into it. I took some notes. Let me bring them up, okay? So we last week we saw that they were ending the party and all of that kind of stuff, and his family had set up a nice little place, a nice little venue for them to have like their little anniversary party and everything. And Darcy was playing nice. She of course invited Stacy because she can't do anything without Stacy. But I tell you what, she gonna be. She gonna be manless with Stacy, okay, keep on fucking around. Her and Stacy, neither one of them know how to treat their man. Stacy's no better with Florian than Darcy is with her man. But anyway, I digress, and we're gonna keep on moving on. So, they get out of the venue and everything, and Darcy vomits, and outside the limo and all of that kind of stuff. And Stacy is sitting up there talking about, take care of your woman. No, she needs to take care of herself. She always talking about she a grown woman with daughters and stuff. She needs to learn how to take care of herself. That's just my opinion, and I'm gonna keep on pushing on. So anyway, they get back to the hotel and everything, and everybody's packing. Darcy and Georgie is packing their stuff, and Stacy and Florian, of course, coming to the room, and Darcy, they like, oh my God, because they looking at all of the luggage and stuff, and she was like, how we do, this what we do, we'll do this what we do. So Darcy was like, okay, she asked, Georgie, how long you think you gonna be back again or whatever, and coming back home to see his family, especially since he had not seen them in what was it, 13 years, y'all. And so Georgie was like, hopefully soon, hopefully very soon. He said, that's the plan. I just need to figure out how to manage the travel and the money and stuff. So Darcy was like, yeah, sure. The most important thing is money, honey. Money, honey. Like she filthy rich. Girl, get up out of here. You need money to travel and to be a real traveler like us. Maybe you'll be a real traveler like us, right? Just talking, just all of this old dumb stuff, right? And so Georgie was like, exactly. I just want to make time to go to many places and also take care of some stuff here. So of course, now Stacy, antennas is up and she's just agitating and instigating and doing what she do with the whoop whoop and the boo. And so Darcy was like, so come back, take care of what you need. Wait, why are you coming back by yourself? And so he was like, yeah, I want to spend some time here with my family, which I believe is not unreasonable. The man has not been there in 13 years. Maybe some things went on. Y'all, what is going on my list there? Anyway, let's keep going. And so, he's like, yeah, I want to, spend some time here with my family and stuff like that. So Stacy was like, oh, so now he wants to travel on his own without Darcy. Sounds like he wants his freedom. Some conversations you need to have with your sister by yourself. All of this instigating and stuff like that she's doing, she need to be worrying about Florian. She need to be worried about her own man and what's going on in her own relationship with a raggedy. So anyway, she was like, oh, see, like he wants some freedom. So Darcy was like, what exactly do you need to take care of? Because Florian took and jumped in and was like, I'm just noticing, some words that he used and, talk about taking care of and coming back and all of that kind of stuff. And Georgie said maybe to buy something here. Like, I want to buy some property or something like here. And so Stacy was like, what, like a family vacation home? So Stacy was like, that's all great, but shouldn't you be saving money with Darcy to buy a home in America, a condo in Miami maybe? Isn't that the American dream? No, but it's American nightmares sometimes for some people when they buy stuff and they're not ready to buy. It's not an American dream anymore to have a home. Some people get up in a home and can't keep it a good year. Hey, Rosalind. Hey, sweetie. Like, what are we doing? Tanya says she got daddy money. If she has papers like she says she does, she wouldn't be on holiday videos. Okay, you better go ahead on and say that, Tanya. And so Darcy was like, yeah, what's the priority? Because what I'm hearing sounds like not we. That just tells me you're hiding something. Hiding what? He's hidden all his whole entire life. And at the end of this, he tells us exactly why he's hidden. So Stacy talking about some Georgie had never really consults with Darcy on anything. I wouldn't either. Because whatever he confides in her about and Darcy about, she comes back and tells you, and then it gets thrown up and vomited back up in his face. And so I wouldn't tell her nothing either. Where I work, how much I make, like where I stay, where I'm going from time to time, from hour to hour, minute to minute, and day by day. I wouldn't tell Darcy anything either because she's not trustworthy and her mouth run like a water fountain. Okay? She said he never really consults with Darcy. He doesn't treat her like a wife. If he wants to buy property, fine, but why not do it together? He's selfish. Why did Darcy buy any property with Georgie? Did she put his name on the deed or anything? Do she got anything to put his name on? Stacy? So Georgie was like, look, I'm just trying to be honest, but every time I open up, it gets twisted. It feels like everyone teams up against me. So Darcy was like, this is the first time I'm hearing about you coming back to Bulgaria on your own. So Stacy was like, exactly. It's all about you, not about building a life with Darcy. What life is Darcy building with Georgie other than criticizing him and bringing him down on every hand and sitting up in front of his family and crying and embarrassing the man? Dorothy talking about, meanwhile, I'm stuck paying the rent in Miami, carrying all the bills. Do you even have money saved? How much? You still owe taxes too. So Georgie was like, I have money. $1 billion if you ask me. And so Darcy was like, yeah, I'm sure you do, but why hide it? Why can't you be transparent about your income? And Stacey was like, right, you got promoted, you've got a job, and now and we know that. So why is the money such a secret? Because y'all greedy isn't wanted. Georgie said, "This is why it is hard for me to open up. Darcy listens to Stacy more than me, and everything turns into stress and ruins the whole entire experience. He is down here with his family. They done rolled out the red carpet for this trifling woman, in my opinion. And this is all that she could do is get back to the hotel after her sister get there. She gets a lot of balls when her sister is there. I don't think that she wants Georgie for anything but to lay up with him, and that's just my opinion on it." Darcy said, "Well, that's all right. Because you got the green card, you got your passport, you got what you wanted from me, and now what? And now I'm out. If that's what you think, then now I'm out. I wouldn't try. I wouldn't bring you to my parents' house. Look, this man has not seen his parents in 13 years, but he takes the time to bring Darcy to meet his family, which means that he cares something for her, but it's never enough for her. And she is, like I said, she's not trustworthy. Yes, a husband should tell his wife everything that's going on with him. But when you don't have trust in the relationship and you don't have respect, then how in the world are you going to get anything? Let me tell you something. Men want respect. Now, yesterday in the membership, I did a video on the new show, Special Forces. I made a decision to do that particular show back there, downtown with the membership, right? Because I want to bring more content and stuff like that to the members. Plus, I wanted to do that show because I wanted to make fun of Cody Brown. If you all do not know, Cody is on Special Forces. And then you got people from, the different other shows and stuff like that, athletes, gymnasts, and reality star TVs, including Brittany Cartwright from oh my god, I can't, Vanderpump Rules, who left out the first day. Talk about Jax. Okay, so I'm going into another show. But anyway, she talked about Jax had sent her a text message or called her or whatever and was like, "You ain't gonna last long," right? So she gonna sit up there and go through the Special Forces, get to the last leg of it almost, right? Just about. And then decide that she gonna quit. First of all, Brittany was out of shape, being in the daggone thing anyway, because I ain't never seen Brittany that big. Well, no, yes, I had, because when she first started dating Jack, she was thick. She's always been a thickum girl, okay? But then you're going to get up there, right, and talk about you went through all of this stuff with Jackson. If you could survive this with Jackson, you can do this show and all that stuff, and she don't do it. But I went out there to, I went out there and started watching the show because, like I said, I wanted to joan on Cody Brown. One of the things that Cody said on that show was, women want love and men want respect. I don't care if you love me as long as you respect me. I have been saying that for I don't know how long. And Cody said it on Special Forces yesterday. And I reminded the members that this is what I've been saying for a long time. That's what men basically want. Georgie wants respect from her. Okay, so he got his passport, he got his green card, he got everything he was supposed to get being in a relationship with you. If you thought for 1 minute that that's not what the man, that the man wasn't true, then okay, you shouldn't have married him. But you was pressed to marry the man. So get out of here with that bull cry. So Florence was like, "Darcy, come on. Come on to help us bring the bags down." So Darcy was like, "I'm done. I'm out of here." So Darcy goes on to say, "It hurts inside because he's never going to change." No, you're never going to change. You're an old hag, and you got all these kids that you keep bragging about, and you got this young man and you don't trust him. Point blank and simple, because everything on you is fake. Your breast is fake. Your face is fake. Your chin, like everything about Darcy is fake. She looks like a blow-up doll from Adam and Eve. Let's just go ahead on and be truthful out here in these streets about this woman. She said that's why he's not even coming out to talk about it because he don't care. They don't feel any sister. I don't feel any sister security with him. She said, I am upset because she spent the whole entire trip trying to tell him all she needs and want is transparency. You a whole lie. They go on to say that obviously it seems a little premeditated, like he was thinking of planning this all the while. She said she had a great time meeting his family, but it doesn't feel like he included her in his life. What are you talking about? This whole trip was about her. She said, anyway, he got what he wanted. You could take all my money, Georgie. I'll send you a check. Georgie said, you don't have no money. The clapback heard around the world. He said, you ain't got no money. You ain't got none. Dawson said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, dude? Get over yourself. Stacey was like, really? Stacy, I don't have any money either. She spends it all on, he said, she spends all her money on clothes. You ain't got none either, Stacy. He said, you ain't got no money either. All y'all spend it on his clothes. Dawson said, if we had zero, we'd be better. How much do you make at the spa? Georgie said, you know how much I make. Stacey was like, wow, that's funny. You don't have to talk to your wife like that and don't sit there and just like, because you know what the truth is. And Darcy said, I think in my head, I said nothing wrong to you, first of all, so don't get involved with our relationships, okay? Stacey was like, okay, so we have nothing. That's hilarious. Darcy was like, we got everything we dreamed of except for a happy marriage. You done been around the world and yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't find no baby. You can't find no man. What happened with Jesse Meester? You was over there acting like a crackhead, in my opinion. When and where have you gotten everything you dreamed of? Were you in a miserable relationship? Exactly, Tamika. Tamika said Stacy should have stayed home, but Darcy can't do anything without them. She was lonely and without her sister. Even in this particular episode, in this scene, she was saying that I got my children and I got my sister. So Stacy was like, "Okay, what about your marriage? What about your problem?" Darcy was like, "Never said I was actually, all good." They was like, "You lucky." Darcy was like, "Yeah, but it don't feel like it." Stacey was like, I mean, girl, please, you're blessed. You're blessed. Darcy was like, he does this all the time. She said, you're making us like we're beneath you. We just want transparency. She just wants transparency, right? I mean, Stacey said that. And she said to say the truth anyway to anybody because you're full of secrets and you always will be. Okay, whatever. So Darcy and them decided they're going to leave the hotel and they're going to go to the airport without them. She says, please say he wants to fool me and I'm not going to be played for a fool. You already have. If you thought that him wanting to get the green card and all of that kind of stuff was what he wanted, then you did get played the fool. And they end up going to get two taxi cabs Georgie was like, I'm really upset because Darcy, she told me she don't want to go to the airport with me. She wants to go in a separate car. He said it's so freaking childish of her and Stacy. They always, and Stacy is always adding fuel to the fire, and Darcy is always assuming the worst, even when she don't know about any type of situation, and it even makes him more upset. He said, after the whole thing, taking a separate service car to the airport, he was like, it's messy. It's just messy. It's messy. She couldn't even act right in front of his family. She couldn't even wear the appropriate thing. So Darcy was like, how dare you? I got my daughter and my sister. And she tells him to get far away from her. So so Georgie was like, what is mind blowing is how shocked she knows that my sister is coming. She know my sister is coming. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her, but she just don't communicate nothing. She just runs away with her sister. He said he don't know what to do. He said yesterday they had a great party around his family, and now he's by himself, and it just doesn't make any sense. And it really doesn't, because she's acting like a child. So Georgie gets, Darcy is in the Darcy in the car, and Stacy is outside telling Florian that he needed to check Georgie for what? Why? Florian already instigated and said his little part downtown at the hotel, right? So he don't need to say nothing else, because guess what? Next week it'll be him. It will be him. So Florian need to keep his mouth shut. So Georgie got an opportunity to meet with his sister, before he left and got up out of Dodge. And that was sad, because he had to tell his sister that they left without him, and that, now he's short. And that he really seriously having problems in his relationship. And his sister and them already knew. They already knew. And she was basically like, you need to come home more. We family. I love you. I'm sorry that, you're going through this, whoop, whoop, and the boop, boop. You say the old regular stuff. But what I liked about it, yes, it was embarrassing, Sugar 48. Sugar 48 said embarrassing. It really was. And he was apologetic to his sister because he didn't want to trauma dump all of that mess on her, right? He had been covering for her the whole entire time. He really was. And he was biting his tongue. He was biting his tongue. And making excuses for her. He even told her when they had the little party that the dress that she had was on inappropriate. She doesn't listen to him. She really does count him out. And it's disgusting on how she treats that man. He don't need to be with nobody like her. Like, for what? He needs to cut his losses, take his little money that he been saving. Okay, since he using her and everything, I'm sure he got a fat bank account, because she's sitting up here going to embarrass the man. And that's one thing. You embarrass a man, it's over. And when she sat there and said, I'm going to pay all the rent in Miami and all of that kind of stuff, it's over. It's over. Absolutely she is. Absolutely she is. She is messy. She messy with her own man. Okay, exactly, Tamika. Tamika said he didn't ask her from us. Just dress appropriate and act like you got some sense. And she could not do that. And she let her sister, because Stacy just stands around. You can tell by Stacy's posture that she just stands around looking for something negative to say about or to Georgie. These sisters are in competition with each other. They always have been with every man that they have dated. They've always been in competition. And they always got to be up underneath. It's a very toxic union, in my opinion, between these two. Absolutely, she does. Sugar 48. Sugar 48 says she acts like an immature teenager, but then wants to walk around and talk about she got kids. Anyway, I got a couple of more videos I got to do, so I ain't going to spend no more time on them. But y'all let me know what y'all think about them downtown in the comment section. Let's continue the conversation. Let me know what you all think. Thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I appreciate y'all. And until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.